According to course guidelines, historians must be objective and honest in their investigations. For this week's discussion, I'm going to be discussing Pentecostalism. This is a charismatic movement that believes that all Christians should seek baptism with the Holy Spirit. And according to Matthew A. Sutton, Amy Semple McPherson's testimony of her baptism with the Holy Spirit paved the way for Pentecostals to contribute to the fundamentalist movement and led Pentecostals into the mainstream of American evangelicalism. No one person is stated as the founder of Pentecostalism. It just arose out of Protestant churches with the unhappiness that was being spread. Baptism with the Holy Spirit is accompanied by a sign. A lot of times it's a gift of tongues. This is considered one of the gifts of the Spirit as described by St. Paul the Apostle. Other such gifts associated with Pentecostalism are the ability to prophesy, the ability to interpret the speaking in tongues, and faith healing. Now, Pentecostalism grew out of lower middle classes who were starting to feel out of place and unaccepted in the Protestant churches. According to J. Gordon Melton, to these people yearn for a return of heart religion that would satisfy their spiritual desires and their emotional, psychological, and physical needs. Charles Fox Parham, who was a college director and he was a follower of the holiness movement, was teaching at Bethel Bible College when he is credited with instructing his students to begin praying, fasting, studying scriptures, and awaiting the blessings of the Holy Spirit. And on January 1st, 1901, one of his students, Agnes Osnam, spoke in an unknown language. It is believed it might have been Chinese, and others within this class also started to follow suit. So Parham claimed that they had been baptized with the Holy Spirit. Him and his students began an evangelical mission to spread Pentecostalism. In 1903, the movement did spread, as we see in 1906, with the Azusa Street Revival. This was a Pentecostal movement in LA led by William Seymour, who was an African-American minister. This actually lasted until 1915, and this revival is considered to be one of the catalysts for the spread of Pentecostalism in the 20th century. Amy Semple McPherson is a very famous Pentecostal. She became a traveling preacher upon her return from China when she married Robert Semple, who was a Pentecostal missionary. They went to China. He ended up dying of TB, left her broke, penniless, pregnant. She was finally able to return to America. She married Howard McPherson, tried to have a normal life, but the calling of Pentecostalism was too much for her. And her mother, who was a famous Salvation Army lady, spent the rest basically of her life traveling around preaching Pentecostalism to others. She told her story about what her baptism with the Holy Spirit in 1908 in her Protestant church was. It attracted a lot of followers. She was unable to give up her evangelical calling when she was married, ended up getting divorced, and was soon traveling with her mother to preach Pentecostalism. This traveling and preaching would soon lead her to LA, where she founded the Angelus Temple. This became her home base and her center of ministry from 1923 and on. It's considered the International Church of Foursquare Gospel. And according to Christopher Richmond, even if McPherson showed Pentecostals what was possible, it remained possible only for her, only in Los Angeles, and only before her kidnapping scandal. There's a scandal saying she went swimming in Venice Beach, disappeared for a couple months, was found in Arizona, and it kind of brought the movement down in popularity with people. And Amy Semple McPherson brought Pentecostalism out of back alley storefronts and upper room missions in order to give it a solid middle class appeal and popularity. And that is my discussion on Pentecostalism. Thank you.